another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling. And hello. What's going on? What is going on? All of my tea sippers, my crumpet dunkers, my tea brewers, my pot stirrers, my tea leaf readers, my tea baggers, and my tea biscuits, honey. What's your tea? What is your tea, honey? It's another glorious day, my darlings. I know you got all of your crumpets together because, darlings, it's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat. What's happening, babies? What is happening? I know y'all should be upset with me because I have not been here and carrying on, honey. And listen, I know, okay? I am going through a lot every time I've been trying to sit down here. Either I've been having problems with my eyes, I get sleepy, and this, that, and the other. Whatever I am going through, child, when it's time to do this damn show, I end up being distracted and can't give you a full show, okay? Now, remember the last time we was here, child, I was in the show, and this shit, it wasn't even a whole hour, and I got sleepy. So we're going to go until something happens. Whatever gives, okay? And I just want to make sure that we give you a complete show so that you guys feel as though it is worth your time to go ahead to be entertained the way that we entertain you, okay? So having said all that, honey, it is that time, honey. Y'all know, I know. It was important for me to come on today because this is the Friday after the election day, okay? And I know many of you may want to have something to say. Y'all trying to figure out where I am with it all and whatever. Want to see what my thoughts about everything is, and et cetera, et cetera. We're going to get into all of that, okay? We really and truly are. What I want to do first, before we start doing anything, let me load up something because I got a public service announcement that I want to give you coming up in the next few weeks, okay? Actually, there's a couple of things. Number one, for those of you who wish to see Samantha Stevens' divinity, darling, in her glory on the 19th of November, which is Transgender Day of Remembrance, honey, I would be doing a particular show. Samantha will be making an appearance, and I got to get the venue carried on because I know the last time that I talked, they were finalizing the venue and stuff. So we want to get into all of that. And I'm going to be performing, honey. So the mustache will be gone. I got to cut my eyebrows in half and shit. And all of those little shenanigans. So I encourage you to come on in and do the thing. And if you're here in the Atlanta area, it is, I don't think it's a fundraiser, but it is the Day of Remembrance. So I believe that this is free to the public. So you're able to come on down and to be entertained, okay? The second thing is Saturday, September 23rd. Y'all know I sit on the College Park Citizens Association board, right? And we are redrafting and revamping because we had some administration changes and things like everything else. And in that, we are going to be hosting our first of what we're going into as far as our restructuring. We are doing workshop style meetings, okay? And y'all see this flyer here, College Park Citizens Association presents a men's interactive workshop. Are we producing the men we hate? Yes, darlings. Are we producing the men that we hate? Now, this is going to be a brother-to-brother conversation. Sisters, you are invited to come. However, we are asking you to sit your asses down and listen, because the brother need to have a time to talk and to go through what they need to go through, honey, to feel as though they're in a safe space. And some of you may provide a safe haven for our brothers, and feel, so they can feel that they have comfort. But one of the things that we want to do with this particular conference is to make sure that the men are able to express themselves and it doesn't become a battle of the sexes. As far as we're concerned, we're trying to make sure that we have very little, what it is, I don't want this to be men trying to take advice from the ladies, because every time we have these kind of conversations, the ladies that are there, there's always a female psychologist or whatever, and then it becomes a whole battle of the sexes kind of thing. We want to avoid that. We want men to take care of men. Iron sharpens iron, honey. So in that regard is what this is. Now it's going to be a first of a series, because we're talking about men, and we're gonna, as a gay man, honey, I'm coming from my perspective, and my other board member, honey, the president of the organization now, he's heteroattractional. And, he's going to come from that dynamic. So we've had conversations like this on a regular continuum. And, the conversations are very, very, very educational. And we're looking to learn how to force this thing to where, he and I have formed a brotherhood, and it is a mutual thing. So I call his son my nephew and carrying on. So it is absolutely a wonderful thing. So November 23rd, we're going to start at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going from 10 to 2. And if you're in the College Park area or down in Atlanta and would like to come, ladies, if you try to get your husbands involved and feel as though this is a cute little men's circle or whatever, for those of y'all who are in the barbershops are carrying on, which reminds me that there's a cute idea to take these flyers to go to the barbershops and things, to get the men at the barbershops to come on out and to have conversation. I think this is going to be phenomenal. So, all right. November 23rd. Are we producing the men we hate? Okay. Are we producing the men we hate? Wait a minute. Let me I'm gonna pull the flyer up on my end, because it's something I want to highlight as far as the topics are concerned, right? Because as far as those topics, baby. Oh, come on, what is going on? Thank you. We have broad topics, but then with the broader topics, they're broken down into there's subcategories that's going to break down into a discussion. Because, child, when I tell you, this is going to be a doozy, okay? A doozy. So we're looking at what does Black male leadership look like? Defining toxic masculinity and counteracting the negative stereotypes and narratives of Black men. Okay, now those are the topics. So y'all know it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be dissected, unpacked, and carried on when we have this particular discussion. So again, November 23rd, 2024, honey. Come on out. We're going to do this thing, okay? It's going to be just before Thanksgiving. Is it just before? Yeah. Okay. So having said that, let's get into today's show. Let me see who over here talking. Oh, Groove, Screw what you say. Big Meech, I say he wants to be king of America, huh? What do the young generation do with the older ones? We run them fucking raggedy. Okay. My question is, how do we as American citizens, those of us who make sense, fix it so we as America is his worst nightmare? Okay, that's a good question. I want us, you got us, and we got to find, we're going to make your life a living hell. How do we do this? He's a monster and can be bigger monsters and come out, like you say, come out in the bigger bag. We could be a bigger monster. Okay, what'd you say? Because he done dipped in the bag, honey. So, okay, if you come in the bag, I'm going to come out with a bigger one. So he going to be a monster. We need to be a bigger monster. Okay, I dig that. I dig that. Well, here's the thing. First off, let's start here. And I heard somebody else say this, and I'm glad they said it because this is something that I teach often. First, we have to acknowledge what we feel, how we feel, why we feel. Okay? We have to acknowledge that this hurts. Okay? A lot of us, it feels like, we put a lot of eggs in the basket. And because we did, now we mad. Because we don't have any state, we don't have any space, we don't have any sacred ground. We don't have any eggs to make a basket. We don't have any eggs in the basket to go feed our families because we were trying to get the eggs back home, right? So that's where we are, right? So now we got to lick our wounds. We got to experience what we experience, acknowledge that it's hurt, that it's pain, that it's this, that it's that. Acknowledge it. There's no way of getting around it. Okay. I knew someone was upset because Vice President Kamala didn't come out the night of and do her concession speech. At the same time, I said, she's a woman. Could it be that she just had an emotional moment and didn't want the world to see her crying and boo-hooing and carrying on? All of that anticipation and carrying on, and then the letdown, and then to know that he won by a landslide, honey, they say. It was nearly 5 million votes. Okay, nearly 5 million votes separated them. Okay, I know at one point I heard 138 million votes, but it was 5 million, nearly 5 million votes. Okay, which is a landslide. There was no way you can make that up. Okay, remember, he did not concede because of 12,000. You said 5 million. Okay. We're looking at this because I say that this was a complete anti-Democrat thing. Okay. Republicans came in, they voted down the ticket for the most part because Republicans got the control of the House. They have control of the Senate. Okay. We got Agent Orange back, which means now they also got control of the Supreme Court. Okay, because he gets whoever leaving, retiring, whatever the case may be, he gets to still now make the decision on who gets to go back on those Supreme Courts. And this here is on all the levels, right? No, governors do the state levels. But for all of those Republican governors and carrying on, they're in that mindset. I mean, somebody says here, hold on. Kamala did good, had a good plan. He didn't. And he was a racist, sexist, lying monster, and they voted for him, or he cheated. No. That's a good evening. I wish I could participate on air in this discussion. I don't know who this is just yet. Who are you? Because you're coming up as Facebook user. I got to find out who you are. Hey, Tiff, what's going on, girl? Hey. Okay, thanks for coming up in here. I know you missed me, baby. Let me go over here to the Facebook page so I can see who this is talking. Because I don't know who this is yet. Okay. Are you all right? Somebody's in my bathroom and it sounds like they fell. You all right in there? All right. Just making sure, honey. Let me see. I got to see who's talking. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, okay, that's Buck. Okay. I had to go see who that was. Okay, that's Buck. How come you're not showing up on the thing? I'm wondering. I had to go into the Facebook to see who you are. Oh, okay. So you went to he went over to the YouTube. Okay. Okay. Cool. Would you want to come in? You can, or are you feeling well enough to do it? Okay, because you can. Let me know how you feel. Okay. You just have no idea, child. Mm. This here, y'all know the little sparkling little do-wah diddy. This is the lime margarita that I'm drinking, honey. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am not. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, Buck not feeling well, y'all. He want to come up in, but he's just not feeling well enough to be up in here. Here's where it is, y'all. We have to look at the fact that this is what America chose. America chose this. Okay, America. So these are some of your co-workers. These are some of the people who are your neighbors, some people in your family, some people you may call friends, some people you call associates and confidants and constituents and comrades and good Judies and all that. Because one of the things is a lot of folks lie. There's many of people, honey, who claim that they lied about being undecided. They lied that they was going to vote for Kamala. They lied, because of the numbers were that way. Then when they got into the poll, they did what they wanted to do. This here for me says that this is totally an anti-Democrat thing. We're still dealing with the onset of being anti-Obama. Okay. Anti-Obama, we anti-Biden, we are now anti-woman because the whole thing of a black woman or a black and Asian woman or a person of color and woman became a threat. Okay. It became a threat. And this country is just not ready to handle that. They didn't want it. Now, what's interesting, I'm going to play this video because I got a couple of videos from Joy Reid. Wait a minute, what you say, Buck? Yes, and we also must consider the large amount of people who chose not to vote as well. Now, let's go there. Because I like how this was presented. And they said, in 2020, we had 81 million people that came out to vote for Joe Biden. All right. 81 million. And 74 million voted for Agent Orange. Okay. This year we had 67 million vote for Kamala. Okay. And 71 million vote for Agent Orange. So that means what? We got a 14, 15 million people deficit of the Democrats or whatever that did not come out. And then we got a 3 million deficit on the Republican side for folks that didn't come out. Okay, to vote. All right. So in that's about 18, nearly 20 million people who chose not to vote. Okay, now I don't beat up on folks anymore who choose not to vote because we always want to play the, your ancestors died card. Well, yeah, they died, but they also died for freedom. And if this is their choice to say, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out, then honey, that's their choice. We always say, I don't want to hear you complain if you sit out. Well, they're going to do it anyway. Okay. If they sit up there and shit go wrong and shit is bad or whatever, they're going to complain. So, honey, us saying, I don't want to hear you complain is a moot point because they're going to, because they're citizens like everybody else. The problem is that the areas that they complain in usually are on the local level. Okay, they complain on the local level, and it's not on the national level all the time. So we have to look at that particular perspective. Okay. So the idea of, oh, y'all can't do this and y'all can't do that is ridiculous. Okay. I want to play this first video. And this is Joy Reid. It's coming from her show. Because she posted this, and I want to play it here. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. Is this right?
Hey, so fam, we need to talk about the fact that Donald Trump literally called immigrants vermin, which is a Hitler quote, literally said he was going to do mass deportation of undocumented immigrants, and millions of Latino families are mixed status, meaning some members are natural born citizens born in the country legally, some members are undocumented, mixed status. He said he's going to do mass deportation. He insulted Latinos in every way you can possibly think of, including his comedian at his Madison Square Garden rally, calling Puerto Rico an island of trash. Launched his whole political career saying Mexico's not sending their best, they're sending rapists and criminals. His allies were shipping migrants from Venezuela all around the country in order to demonize migrants. Every possible insult to Latinos you can imagine has been uttered from his tiny little mouth ever since he got into politics in 2016 and presidential politics in 2016. And look at the result on Tuesday. Latino men, 54% for the man who openly disrespected them. Oh, but wait, there's more. Because we knew that white men were going to do this and vote overwhelmingly. White men are always 60-40 Republican. But every possible type of disrespect was also heaped upon women. And look at how white women voted. 52-47 for Trump. The adjudicated sexual assaulter who said he's going to protect women whether they like it or not, who closed his campaign by calling Nancy Pelosi the B word, and whose vice presidential running mate called women childless cat ladies and called Kamala Harris trash. The disrespect was so intentional and so open, but this was the result. Now, I will note that college-educated white women moved toward Kamala Harris, and college-educated white men also moved toward Kamala Harris. But overall, it was only Latinas and all other women who stuck with Kamala Harris. I also want to make sure that we knock down a very popular meme that suddenly black men were moving to Donald Trump. Nope. Trump got the exact same percentage of black voters in 2024 that he got in 2020, 12%. Kamala Harris improved just a little bit over Joe Biden with white voters because of college-educated white voters. Black voters, the same. And Latino voters plummeted because of Latino men and slightly Latinas moving toward the man who completely disrespected them and calls them vermin. Other interesting notes from the exit polls. Exit polls showed that Kamala Harris improved over Joe Biden in just 3 categories. High income voters, she was up 11 points. Secular voters, meaning those who ain't running up to the church to try to be Christian nationalists. And college-educated white women, as I mentioned before, she did better with them by 5 points. All other shifts were minor or declines. And now my biggest takeaway from this election in terms of the demographics. And this one is heartbreaking to me as a member of Generation X. Young voters were the strongest constituency for Vice President Harris. Young voters, north of 50%. Millennials, north of 50%. And look at Gen X. Even our seniors split 50-49 in favor of Harris. Our senior citizens at least split in her favor, but not Gen X, not my generation, the generation raised on WWE and Hulk Hogan and hip hop and the F Your Feelings generation. We voted in a majority for Donald Trump, despite the fact that it is not Generation X that has economic insecurity. Gen X is doing all right. We have a little coins. The people who are really experiencing economic challenges are our kids, the Z generation and millennials. They're the ones who can't afford their lives. And they put their faith in this Black Asian woman. But we couldn't do it. The generation that grew up around hip hop that Diddy destroyed, the generation that went from 3 Feet High and Rising and Q-Tip and A Tribe Called Quest to gangster rap and Diddy, our generation condemned our children to have to fight off an autocracy because we think we're going to get a little tax cut. Generation X owes an apology to our children and our grandchildren. And we have condemned you all to a court that will be far right-wing for the rest of your lives. And you should not thank us. We did you no favors. In fact, we utterly failed you. And so the answer now is we're going to have to organize, and we're going to have to figure out a way to survive and to help our young people survive. Because the other issue is how many people didn't vote. Donald Trump got 3 million fewer votes than he got in 2020. And Kamala Harris, before California is counted, has 15 million fewer voters than Joe Biden. People chose the couch, y'all, in the most important election in our lifetime. The election that was designed to keep us out of autocracy. What a failure. What an absolute failure. And it was not a failure of Kamala Harris, who did everything she could with a few mistakes, but otherwise an almost perfect campaign. Yes, you can criticize certain things about it, but don't put that on that sister. She did everything she could to convince y'all how important it was to vote, and just a lot of y'all just failed to do it. And people who failed to show up and vote, you don't have to have voted in order to have chosen. You chose, and now we're going to have to deal with the consequences. And we're going to have to fight an autocracy, and not even like a smart autocracy, a janky, ratchet autocracy full of the absolute right-wing lunatic fringe that is now going to be running our government, including RFK Jr., who's going to be in charge of our health. Oh, this should be lots and lots of fun. It's going to be wild. Know that I will be here. I'm going to try to help y'all get through it. We're going to figure out how we're going to survive, because surviving is what we do. And Black women, love y'all. Held down the future, voted for the future, and voted for change, generational change, and so did young people. Young people showed out. College-educated voters showed out. Secular voters showed out. Latinas showed out. AAPI showed out. But everybody else, we got some work to do. So let's do it. We got this. We're going to be okay. And I love you, and I'm still here for you, and we're going to figure it out. One love, fam. But you got to start voting. Come on. It's so important. We're going to keep talking and figure out this civic shit, because you've got to participate. Failure is not an option when it comes to democracy. And now that we are on the brink of losing it, we have to figure out what to do. But we're going to do that together. I love you guys. Cheers. Peace.
And we're back. Now, how many of y'all, I played that first because she gave all of the stats and carrying on, because we heard all this little hoopla about Black men You know, we heard all this hoopla about this and about that and carrying on. And yeah, okay. So now we see the stats. And so now it becomes, what does all that mean? Okay, what does all of that mean? And I'm telling y'all, I've heard this said too. White women did not show up for black women yet again. Okay. Y'all talking about abortion rights and freedom for your bodies and this, that, and the other. And we thought that that was going to trump everything, right? We thought that was going to be the card because of the Roe v. Wade and carrying on. A woman's body is her body and blah, 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 blah. And you see that 54% of white women voted for Trump. 54% of white women voted for Trump. Even though he has said that women need to go to jail, somebody need to pay for the abortion and carrying on somebody because it's a crime. Even though he has said that he has not completely endorsed Project 2025, but in Project 2025, the people who wrote it, his former chief of staff, not chief of staff, but those who have been in his cabinet and carrying on, they said that part of what is supposed to happen, or that they're ruling, is for women not to be able to vote again. But 54% of white women voted for Trump. So now, I've been telling folks this all since the election, and today makes what, 73, 72 days before we are engulfed in hell, a new wave of hell. So, honey, I'm telling y'all better go get portable fire extinguishers, because we are going to be putting out fires. Okay? And if we're going to be in hell, bitch, you better get the damn super duper fire extinguisher that say freeze hell over. So if you can't freeze all of hell, you could at least freeze the shit around you. Okay? Because we have a number of things that we got coming down the pipeline. Now, we're hearing that, okay, we got to come up with plans. We got to galvanize. We got to see how we're going to get through this. And that's going to be a difficult thing when the laws and stuff are going to be set. And then what are we going to do but comply or risk going to jail? So now what? We're going to have 4 years of dealing with bullshit. No, maybe 6.5. And I say 6.5 because the next 4 years are going to be this. Then we have an election. He can't run anymore. Okay. And the idea of another Republican coming in is going to be it. Okay. Because if we get another Republican to come in, then that means we're going to have 8 years of this shit. Okay. But it's going to be along the midterms, because now we got to get some of that Republican out of there so that it could be a balance of power. Republicans, they have won all of Congress, the House and the Senate, where they got controlling vote. So whatever this man says he wants for the sake of the party, they will push through. So what does this mean as far as us getting together, galvanizing and carrying on? What we going to do? Okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to change the Constitution when they're going to have control to vote everything down? Even if we take it to the Supreme Court, this fucker done got all the day. He got the majority of the judges up in there. So what does that mean, children? Let me go to the comments over here. Let me go to the comments. Okay. What we got? Starting here. Maybe they don't mind a president that doesn't care. Perhaps they never thought presidents care. I know one thing, he doesn't. She did, and I'm mad. Okay. Yes, and we also must consider the large number of people who didn't vote as well. Okay, I read that one earlier. Overall, less than 70% of eligible voters participated in this election. Okay. This country is stupid, fucked up, and has no morals at all. How can they vote for that wolf? Sorry, didn't mean to insult the PO wolves. the poll rules. Okay. Over an estimate, 65 million chose not to vote. Ain't that nothing? That was excellent. Okay, Facebook user. Why isn't this giving me what I need for this to give, honey? I don't know how come my people who over here are not showing up as far as who you are. That's bothering me. Okay. The white woman and Latino men who voted for him, you are selfish and you are ignorant. You couldn't take one woman and some men working together like you're supposed to. No, you chose an idiot. Okay. Unless they change the term limit law, of course. Well, of course. Okay. Of course, which is something. Now, listen, he done already told us that on day one, he was going to go up in there and change this to where he doesn't want to, he don't want to get out of office. Okay, he doesn't want to get out of office. Okay, so he said that he said, I'm not going to be a dictatorship except for one day. But that one day when he sits down there and try to get everything the way that he wants it, will then set the precedent. Okay. Now, my thing too is not only do we have to deal with him, we also have to deal with all those who voted for him. Because they got bragging rights right now, they gloating and this, that, and the other, those who, he has done something that was unprecedented at the moment. This is the biggest political comeback in ages. He is the first president in over 100 years, honey, who did not win consecutive terms, but he got re-elected in. He doesn't serve his terms are not consecutive. He's 47. 45 and now 47. Okay. So, what that number is, 4547. Y'all write that down, honey. That might be a cute little number. Okay. 7544. Let's look that up. That's July 5th, rather, 1944. Somebody look that up and tell me why that date. That I don't know. I'm playing the numbers game in my head. Okay. And look that up. July 5th, 1944. Was that something significant that happened on that day in our U.S. history? That's interesting, huh? That there is interesting. Okay, that there is interesting. Try April 5th, 1974, and then try April 4th, 1975. Oh. Okay. Try July 4th, 1954, and then July 4th, 1945. Okay, I'm playing with these numbers as a 4 digits because that's what we have. And I'm trying to see what's going on, what was significant in the country at that time. Why are these numbers here? Why 45, 47. Interesting. Okay. 45, 47. Somebody need to play that in the lottery, honey. Play that in the 4 digit. Okay, play it in the 4 digit. What? Get the flip out. Stop it. July 5th, 1944, the Normandy landing in World War II. See there? Damn. See there? It ain't no damn coincidence. It ain't no damn coincidence. Cheering. Damn. Now look at July 4th, what's that, 54? Yeah, July 4th, 1954. And then flip it to 1945. If anything come up on those dates. Because we got, yeah. You understand? You already understand, don't you? Don't you? Those who don't learn from their history are doomed to repeat it. Yes, God, today. Yes, God, today. So now, again, what does this mean, children, about us coming together, galvanizing, getting together? How are we going to get through this? What does all that mean? Okay. Well, first off, honey, all of that means first we need to get together and read that damn Project 2025. That needs to be a Zoom call, and everybody needs to take a chapter and read it. All of us need to be on that. This is 900 pages. We get 900 people on the call, honey. Everybody read a page. Okay. Or 450 people, honey. Everybody read 2 pages. Okay. But let's make sure we get folks who know how to read, because I know how to. Let me take that back. Folks who know how to read out loud, because there's a number of us who like to read or whatever, but don't want to read out loud, and we get nervous stammering over words and this, that, and the other. We need to look at that. That's the first thing. We need to look at that Project 2025. And then I want, you know what, let me throw this out here. Let me throw this out here as something for us to consider. Even though I'm only putting this out here for us to consider and not say that this is a conspiracy theory. What if this whole thing of Project 2025 was a distraction? Because let me tell you something. One of the things about that I look at Kamala's campaign, it was very emotionally driven. It was emotionally driven. Yes, she had plans. Yes, she had policies and carried on. She was put in the making, but it was very emotionally driven. Okay. Compared to Mr. Clown, the orange clown, honey, his was not necessarily. His campaign was a fucking show. It was buffoonery. Now, how is it? Now, catch the tea. How is it that he is a fucking fool up in here, and he's saying any and everything? Nothing made sense. He didn't have the crowds that came to his rallies and carrying on, and yet he had criticized Kamala for being at a Beyonce concert and having all of these celebrities come out. In fact, Black folks were saying that. Everybody who was against it, those who are against the Democrats, was sitting up there saying, how you going to get this? How you get Megan Thee Stallion to come and twerk? So I saw that some pastor said that. You got Megan Thee Stallion coming to twerk and for twerk for democracy and carrying on. She did not twerk. Okay, she came out dressed conservatively. She went after the young voters. That's who they look up to. That made sense to me. Okay, it made sense. It got their attention, and they were able to listen to the message. But nobody said that. Everybody wanted to go into the criticism of it. And we can now pick and, we can go through and pick through what happened and what did not happen. I just saw something with Stephen A. Smith saying that the Democrats went into this thing of telling us it was her time. Okay, you're trying to tell us it was her time versus letting us have the choice to say this, that, and the other. You wanted to make it her time and telling us if we didn't vote, we were wrong for not making it her time. And I can see that. Okay, my son Brandon said the same thing. He was like, y'all just put this on us, and we did not go through the full democratic process of them choosing somebody when Biden has stepped down. Okay? Now, granted, he stepped down kind of late in the game, and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, yah, yah, yah. Okay, yah, 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 DDD. And, okay. But a lot of folks are saying we did not have the choice. Y'all just threw Kamala up there. And I know in the beginning, I was like, oh, but she's been so quiet, though. I don't know if she had the chutzpah to carry this through. Okay? But then when I heard her speak and how she had put a campaign together, I said, okay, I'm on board. Let's do this, right? Because I was like, she did not have a high favorable look into the American people because they felt she was being too quiet, right? But then when they started going down her record, what she was doing up there in the Senate and carrying on, because the vice president is over the Senate. So boom, 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 boom. Okay. and the shit that she was getting done or whatever. I was like, oh, bitch, wait a minute. We underestimated you. Okay. So cool. So now I'm on board. But now we're talking about, the whole idea that, they shoved her down our throat. They made her the choice. They didn't give us the opportunity to choose this and to actually have a say in who should be the nominee. And I'm like, okay, fine, but wait a minute though, because him stepping down did not mean that took her off the ticket. Okay, because she was still on the ticket. Okay, so him stepping down did not negate her. But don't nobody want to hear that. Okay, don't nobody want to hear that. They're like, fuck that. You didn't give me my choice to say instead of her, I want somebody else to run. And then we were trying to look at how this was going to be to win, and et cetera, et cetera. But we still got to get to what does this mean for us to galvanize? How are we going to do this to where it makes sense? And do this to where it makes sense for us, and then it not feeling as though it's becoming a chore, or that I got to turn my back because I got to get very selfish in this. Because to be quite honest with you, if it's not my household, honey, I do not see us galvanizing to make it work if the laws are going to be stacked against us. Now, us as Black folks, we already know what that feel like, right? We already know what that feel like to have the odds stacked up against us, because in this country, honey, they always have been. So are we saying that we got to go back to some of the practices that we had, when we were taking care of our own communities and carrying on? That goes back to the Black Panther Party. That goes back to the Black Panther Party. And then let me ask this, because I know we got Democrat and Republican, and those are the two national parties. But every time we come down to an election, one of the things that pisses me off about Black folks is that they always saying that they don't want to take care of Black folks. Well, who in the fuck are we putting in position to do it? Huh? Who do we have running? How come we don't have a party that says this is what we're going to do? Where is that candidate? If y'all keep saying that, every time I hear this with Black folks who say the Democrats ain't did shit for Black folks in 40, 50 years or whatever, why are we still giving them our vote? But then you say you really don't want to give it to the Republicans either. Who do you have that's going to run, that's going to be the anti-them? Who do you have that we could put up there to say, this is the Black agenda, this is what we need, this is the... How come we never seen that? After all this time, I keep asking that of Black folks who say that this country, the Democrats don't do nothing for Black folks, and you really want to say vote Republican, but then the Republicans get the fucking up. For those of you who keep telling Black folks to hold their votes, don't vote for none of them until they tell you what they're going to do for you. Who is the candidate that you will put in place to run against them? If you don't want Black folks to give their vote to the two running, and all their votes went over to who is that candidate? Because that could have made a difference in all of this. Imagine them saying nearly 20,000 people who didn't vote put those votes over there on the Black candidate. Imagine that. What would that say? Huh? What if that candidate was able to take all the Black votes from Kamala and from Agent Orange? What if that candidate was able to pull those votes and went over there to that candidate? What does that mean? I get so sick and tired of folks saying that, and then we have nothing in place. We have nothing in place. So what are we going to do about that? Since we're saying that we got to come together and we got to do better, and we're going to get through this together and blah, 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 blah. What is that supposed to look like? Now, let me ask this also, because let me do the flip side of this thing. And Trump won the popular vote. Boom. Trump won the popular vote. Really? Really? So he became more popular than Kamala. And then if you look at it, I guess so. Because we talked about him and his fuck ups, then we talked about her and her policies. We talked about him in them rallies. You know, even she did it with Donald. You know, I got so tired of hearing what Donald Trump ain't going to do. Okay. As opposed to what she's going to do. Okay. What we need to do is this. Okay. Currently, the policy is this, but we need to strengthen this here. Okay. We need to strengthen this here so that we can get this, and this done. Okay. Our opponent got to talking about the border, but he fucked up this and fucked up that. So this is what we need to do to get this together. Okay. Boom. I keep saying about that border, make them pay. You want to stop them from coming over here? Make their asses pay. If we got to pay for licenses and we got to, you know, everything that we do, we got to pay for a business license. You got to pay for your driver's license. You got to pay for your name change. You got to pay for a fucking passport. You got to pay. You got to pay. You got to pay. Where are the coin? I mean, where's their coin? Make them pay for the fucking visa. Do you want to come over here and work? Make them pay. Stop hiring them. See, that's the other thing. A lot of them are coming over because they know they can find work easy. They already got siblings over here, so they say, okay, come on through. When you get here, we'll hook you up. A lot of jobs. Hell, how is it that you are hiring in the hospitality community? Hotels and stuff, you are hiring in hospitality. And yet most of your workers do not speak fucking English. They can't say towel and soap or whatever. Huh? How am I in the hospitality industry and I got workers who cannot communicate with my guests who paid to be there? Why have we not done that? Why have we not looked into that? Why have that not been some kind of something? Huh? So that their legality won't be so questioned. You know, the money that they spend here, okay, that could go toward their legalization. Especially if you're giving them, if you are giving them temporary work permits, like U.S. citizens get going overseas somewhere because you got to go to the U.S. embassy and all of that. Where is that? How come we don't have a U.S. embassy at that damn border to process these folks in right away? Huh? How come? You okay? That's always been my thing with that. If you don't want them here, stop hiring them. But what do? We hire them anyway. Why? Because we could pay them cash under the table. Who they gonna report it to? Okay, it's cheap labor, so you can pay them. You don't have to pay them top dollar, and you know the kind of quality of work they're going to give. Why? Because number one, they want to come back. Number two, they're going to work hard to show you that I'm worth to keep. Okay. Number three, you're paying them possibly more money than what they would have got back where they came from. So they're gonna do the best job because shit, I'm getting an American coin. Huh? What do you do? And that goes for me too. When I move, honey, I haven't moved, I've been here almost 17 years, so I had no need to move. But when I was moving, honey, I went. It was two folks hanging outside, you know, and they were watching me like I was watching them. Okay. What was his name? Hector, I think that was his name. He and Alejandro, I think that was his name. And if not, I'm using those names. They sit up there, that child, listen, I'm driving the U-Haul, honey. We locked eyes because he's watching the truck and watching me and I'm watching him. I went and I parked and I put up two fingers. I need two. He tapped his brother friend and they kept running over to me. I laid out the law. I said, I'm going to pay you $10 an hour and I'm going to feed you. We're going to get this work done. If I bring you here, I'm going to bring you back. Okay? And that's just being fair. Because I'm coming from That's when I was coming out of Druid Hills. So Druid Hills is north of where I am. So I'm coming from north to the south. Okay. I had to get the stuff out of stores, come all the way south. Then I went all the way back north to take them back. Okay. And carrying on. But why did I do it? Because I knew I could. They were there. It was cash. I paid them more because they did exceptional work. Okay, I don't lift shit anymore, right? I don't do that anymore. Okay, and if you see me lifting, it's because I had to. But as far as moving and grooving and carrying on, no, we go get them. Okay. Uh, uh, on top of that, I fed them, and this is what got me because they thought that because they were the workers, we went to McDonald's and we all inside, and you're not gonna meet her? See, I said, okay, get what you want, you know. And so they ordered, but then they went outside and sat on the curb. I said, no, come inside. He sit down at the table. Sit at the table and eat, honey. You don't know. We don't do that. We don't, and that kind of hurt my feelings that they felt that that's what they were supposed to do, right? But I showed them some dignity because you're out here. I hired you to do some honest work. Okay. Now, what I say, I hired you because you're here. We don't want them here. Stop hiring them. Because I could have got 2 black guys. Okay. I did that in New York, right? Went up here to New York to go help my road dog move, right? He had never moved before. Okay. The house he stayed in, he came from cradle to there, from the hospital to that house. Had been there for 46 years. He got outbidded. His uncles decided they needed to sell it, so he got to move. First time in his life. So he don't know what to do. So I went up to New York. I went to go help him move. And that time I did the same thing. Went to the new place, got 2 people. One black guy who was African, another guy who was Latino. The Latino guy wanted to sit down there and talk through everything. Oh, well, what we got to do is, and what we got to do. And the black guy was like, well, come on, let's do it then. Let's work. So the black guy was getting all the work done. The other guy, was pussyfooting around. And you know how folks who lazy and don't want to do nothing, they're trying to see what you're going to do and then will help in the midst. That's what he did. So I told them, before we got in the car, I told him what was going to happen and this, that, and the other. And then the black guy, we ended up paying him. We gave him a little bit more money, okay, because he did the work, right? But again, they were there because they were hired, okay? We don't want them there. We don't want them here. Stop hiring them. But we all know everybody trying to save a buck. Everybody trying to get free labor out of somebody. You don't. I mean, hell, how many of us are on our jobs are carrying on, and we're not paid what we're worth? Huh? Note, I took them to McDonald's or was it Burger King, one of the two, or one of the fast food restaurants. I didn't take them out to Red Lobster or Olive Garden and get them, Uh-huh. So what we gonna do? Let me go to the comments. What did I leave off at? Here. Ask yourself, did the Democrats assist in sabotaging her campaign? I've read the 991 pages. Whenever you're ready. Oh, really? You read it all? Okay. I feel like the world is laughing at us. I do too. The circus is back in town. Oh, child, you better believe it. Okay, I thought I was following Kamala's campaign, Kamala campaign, but when I heard you talk about tonight, how the young crowd said we gave them the choice, we just threw her at them. To me, sounds like I'll sell out for those who didn't vote for her. I may be wrong for this, but it was her time, and it still could be her time in 2028. Okay, Well, you know what? That's what they're saying, that it was her time. And that's what Stephen A. Smith is saying is the argument. Y'all sit up there pushing, it's her time, and y'all trying to throw her down everybody's throat. And then he's claiming that the Democrats are in that whole thing of, but you took my choice away. Okay, hung on long as I could. Keep up the great discussion. We'll watch the rest later. Okay. A young black brother told me, what can she do? What can she do for us? And what has she done for us? And he reached back to his mind and said to me something about stimulus money. When I got through with him, he had nothing else to say to me because I couldn't believe he brought up a comment about stimulus money. But listen, a lot of the folks who sit up there and talk about orange, that's what they got. Oh, well, he was in office. We got money. We had money. We had this. We had that. No. Okay, no. The stimulus checks, honey, were for just that, to stimulate the economy. Okay? To get folks out of the house to go buy. That you needed a reason to get the fuck out the damn house. And those stimulus checks, child, were not the benefit of Donald Trump. That was off of Biden's money. Remember, his first presidency, honey, we had a surplus of money. When he left the office, we were in debt $3 billion. When he left office. So I'm still upset that everybody keep talking about this inflation. Y'all keep talking about inflation. But the elephant in the room has always been the elephant in the room that everybody stopped talking about. Y'all stopped talking about COVID. But we never recovered from COVID during the damn process. And when all those ships were out at sea and we lost all that merchandise and stuff because we didn't have workers to unload the trucks or the boats and the ships and carried on. We had all that food, all this that rotted or whatever it did. It stayed out there on the water for all that time. And we wonder how come the supply and demand got that way. But it was going to. I told y'all this the other day. We have allowed ourselves to become comfortable with the fact, we make this normal, that to walk into a grocery store or whatever, it is normal for us to see empty fucking shelves. We have normalized that. Restaurants and those in the hospitality industry. Do you know where I work, we still don't have our room service up? Our room service department is still not up and running. Do you know what our housekeeping department, you got to request housekeeping? It's not like every day they come housekeeping. No, you got to request it. If you want your bed made and your room refreshed or whatever, you have to request it. You want to talk about inflation? We have not recovered from all that shit that we lost out there. And companies are like, they lost all that money. How do we make it up? We're supply and demand. Now I got to charge you for the loss. So hell yeah. If it was crops and carrying on that went down or whatever we got coming from overseas, if you're trying to get crayons for your children, for the back to school program, how many of y'all notice Dollar Tree ain't fucking Dollar Tree no more, honey? It's a $1.25 tree. Or you go up in there, you used to get $5 got you 5 things, honey. Now $5 only get you 4 because it's $1.25. And now that Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are the same people. Dollar Tree bought out Family Dollar. And so now they're about to merge the stores. So you go into Dollar Tree right now, honey, everything is not $1.25 anymore. You got $5, $10 items in the fucking Dollar Tree, for real? 5 and below. How about that? 5 below was supposed to be what? 5 below. That's a specialty store, right? Well, how is it that you got a whole section that say above 5? So then you're not 5 below, are you? And y'all keep talking about this damn inflation, and he's going to do well for the economy. How, sugar? How? This man said up there he couldn't even turn his fucking hotel around. He could not turn the Trump Tower around. As a matter of fact, so much so to where he what was that? He was in debt with the hotel, borrowing against the hotel to pay his legal fees. And what was they had to stop. I don't want to say close it down. They did something with him to where he had to freeze it and he had to get the fuck up out of there. And y'all say he gonna turn this economy around? But it's okay. It's okay. It's quite all right. Because I think what's going to happen, I'm hoping that we get a 180. I'm being optimistic because, we giving him all this grief and all this and all this. And I am hoping that for our sake, he is able to turn this shit around, right? Turn it around and do a real gotcha. I know y'all thought I was going to do a gotcha moment, right? But he's been too consistently inconsistent with everything that he's done to where I don't trust it. I do not trust it. I don't even trust Robert Kennedy Jr. Okay, your entire family, honey, has been, who your family has been, and now you were first running against, but you didn't stand behind Kamala Harris because you claimed, you gave your allegiance to the Republican Party, and now he has made you over the Department of Health. Yeah. Now, have y'all seen the little Twitter video that he got out about the yellow number 5 and carrying on and all this, that, and the third? Huh? It's cute. It's cute. I said, okay, I can't fuck with that information. It's really cute. But okay. I just want to see what this is going to be because see now we're going to have folks like Candace Owen and what's the black guy's name? The one I really can't stand him. Oh God, I can't stand him. If y'all seen the black political movie called Uncle Tom, what is his name? Larry Elder, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it, Larry Elder. If y'all seen him, they're gloating and care, so all them children, honey, black folks who claim to be staunch Republicans or staunch conservatives, this is their time. So now I want to see what's going to happen. And for the sake of them, I would love to see them be right for a change. Legitimately right. Let's give them the hope that they've been wanting to have an economy that they say is this, without making up numbers and without convoluting shit. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see that happen so that it would give both parties the opportunity to either pull it together or shut the fuck up and get up out of there. You know what I mean? So let's see what that is. And then too, I want us to see when we talk about policies, because see, I'm looking at this, and I know right here in College Park, just on the local level, we're going this back and forth about how the budget should this and how the budget should reflect that. We have a city here, it's not Atlanta, it's another city. It's called Forest Park. Forest Park City just up their minimum wage, okay, to $23.46 an hour. All right, $23.46. Now I don't know if y'all remember me saying this a long time ago, honey, but right now, because the average rent now is about $1,200. $1,200. So in order to pay rent, and in order to pay all of your utilities and carrying on, in order to get your groceries and to have a life, you have to be making at least $25 an hour in order to make it. That's not talking about your luxuries. So they've just raised their minimum wage to $23.46 an hour. The national minimum wage in this country, I want you to listen to that. The national minimum wage in this country is still $7.25 an hour. Who in this world, in this economy, in this living that we have, who can survive on $7.25 an hour? Let's do the math, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. I think I did this one time before. I know I did it. But let's just get up in here and do this again. Okay. So I'm trying to get to my calculator because y'all know these newfangled phones, you put a password in when the screen do what you got to keep putting the password in. All right, so we got $7.25 an hour times 40 hours a week. That is only $290 for the week. Okay, wait a minute, go back. $290 a week times 4 because there's 4 weeks in a year. In a month. That there is $1,160. That ain't even your goddamn rent. And that's gross. We ain't took out taxes yet. $1,160 a month. So you take that times 12. That there is $13,920 a year that somebody who makes $7.25 an hour grosses. Now let's take that. We're going to take out 25% in taxes. And why I say 25%? Because most of these folks who are, single people with no dependents are the purse strings of this economy. So you got to take out your dues. We're going to take out, no, that's just dues. Taxes and all this and the other. So you take out 25%. So usually between a third and a quarter of your money go to taxes. So that means that they are bring home $10,440 on $7.25 a motherfucking hour. This was cute maybe 40 years ago. Because 40 years ago, when I was 14, that's 1984. Yes, because I was just getting into the job market at that time, and minimum wage then was $3.35 an hour. When I got into the job market, honey, minimum wage was $3.35 an hour. Okay, so you're talking about $7.25. Child, bye. We thought, okay, you're doing something. Okay, how many of y'all go back to Sparkle? Remember Sparkle, the original? And Phil and Michael Thomas was telling Irene Cara, Miss Sparkle, Sticks say, Sparkle, come with me. We're going up here to Detroit. They paying folks $5 an hour. $5 an hour. But that was in the 1960s, honey. And at that time, my mother told me when she got into the job market, minimum wage was $1.40 an hour. Now, I'm her firstborn. So let's $1.40 an hour. Huh? And we want to talk about inflation. Well, we don't even have living wages. We don't even have living wages. And you wonder how come folks get bootleg and got folks subletting their patients and carrying on. Because you can't afford it. Because now, catch this, and especially here in Georgia, you have to have your first month's, your last month, okay, and a security deposit, okay? And essentially, that's 3 months worth of rent, okay? So if your rent is $1,200 a month, now come on, let's do it. If your rent is $1,200, okay, plus you need another $1,200 because you got to have the first month, last month rent, and you got to have another $1,200 because that's your security deposit. That is $3,600 in order for you to fucking move in. Who has $3,600 like that? And that there is to keep you settled. We ain't talking. That's just rent. We're not talking about your utilities. We're not talking about you possibly needing to get some furniture and things because you're moving into a new place. We're not talking about you having to have your transportation because a lot of folks, particularly those in the apartment complexes, they are on public transportation. So now you got to get your monthly bus pass or whatever, or get your tokens or whatever you need to do. Okay, and if you got kids, you know you're paying somebody for daycare because they're not at school age yet, honey. So you got to pay for daycare, diapers, and this, that, and the other. And because you got a job, you ain't gonna qualify for food stamps anymore. So that's how come folks they choose to stay on food stamps. They go to work because I can't make it. So what us gonna do? What is your plan of action? I got to ask myself that because shit, I've become to where I can go with the flow and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I can't afford to. I'll be 55 on my next birthday. Okay, which is what? This is November. That's in 4 months, child. In 4 months, I will be double nickels. Okay, double nickels. We don't have time to play games with trying to fight to lose my livelihood. I'm fighting for it. So now what does that mean? Again, I go back to what does that mean when we say we're going to get together to do what? To do what when you don't want to trust your neighbors? You don't want see, back in the day, it was we had latchkey services. The latchkey program, honey, was just that. If I can't get home right away because I work the day shift with my kids and I'm running late, you go over here to the latchkey child so that way somebody can watch your ass. You get your homework done, have a little activity. Okay, so I could come and pick you up for those who had parents to pick them up. If you was a bootleg latchkey, which means that you told your kid to come right home, and they better not do this, and this because you already got dinner ready, and you don't open my door for nobody. I don't care if Jesus Christ is knocking on the door. You don't open my door. Okay, but you said that to the kids when you know you got Miss Rose right there across the street. Honey, could you look out after them? Because I got to go to work and this and the other. Okay, and then you slide her little 20, so she can go get her snuff or her little taste. Okay, and then we call that grace and mercy. Okay, but that's not what this is. We don't do that shit anymore. We don't do it. So now you can't trust nobody. Okay. You got these little fast ass girls and carrying on. These are mannish ass boys who done found out what their sexual organs are. So then they end up throwing a monkey wrench in the whole fuck up shit because now this little heifer got pregnant and he don't want to claim it's his baby. What the So all of those little things start to go into play when we talk about inflation and how come folks don't get jobs and why we got to keep putting our tax money in welfare. Because if you can. I just heard somebody tell me they know somebody who gets $650 in goddamn food stamps. $650 in motherfucking food stamps. Okay. So I could get $650 in fucking food stamps and I could sit up there and feed the world a month. Okay, because I don't care how much bulk shopping you doing. $650, child, that's going to stock that refrigerator umpteen times if you know how to shop. Sit up there, go get 3 cases of canned goods and carry on. That's going to be your refrigerator. You know damn well you ain't going to sit there and stock it up with shit you ain't going to eat. But what do we do like kids always do because you got so much of it, you think you're supposed to eat it all in the same sitting. That's a whole nother show. I ain't going to get there yet. Okay. My whole thing is we say we got to do something. My question to you and my challenge to you is, what does that do something look like? Because because we got to be prepared to fight in ways that are very unorthodox, particularly when the laws and stuff are going to be set up against us. We can't even go to the church right now because the church want their hand now. Okay. And I remember when we had the faith-based initiative, but that done phased out. We don't even do that anymore. Well, you used to have churches and stuff become the non-profit organization, and they were supposed to have been the community liaisons. They were supposed to be the ones helping all the community ills, and they were getting grant money and stuff for it. Really? Goodness. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all this flyer one more time because I think I'm gonna cut it down for now. Because when I start, that's my telltale sign that I think I done hit enough because we're starting to beat a dead horse. Okay. I'm gonna show y'all this flyer one more time. The city of College Park, Georgia, and the College Park Citizens Association, we are proudly presenting a men's interactive workshop. Are we producing the men we hate? If you're here in the Atlanta area, down here in College Park, we would love you to come and join us on Saturday, November 23rd, 2024, of course, at 10 a.m. And we're going to have this discussion going on for you to become interactive, for you to sit down there and talk with us so that we can come up with as many solutions as possible and then find out how we can move forward and march forward so that we can get some things done, okay? So having said all that, my darlings, I am going to let you guys have the rest of your evening. I just want to talk about the election today. We got some stuff coming down the pipeline. If you have not paid attention to WTEA radio, I want y'all to go to live365.com. Wait a minute, let me put the banner up here because I know I have it up here. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, my face is itching. Okay. I just shaved. And see, this is the part that gets me. I just shaved yesterday. Here it is. Ain't even no, it's a little over 24 hours. And now this shit want to try to grow back and it's itching my face. But if you're not familiar with live365.com, honey, with WTEA radio, we are powered by Live365, and we want you to go over there and get your party on over there, Karen. We got playlists that's out of this world between myself and E-Groove over there that was in the comments, and our very own E-Buck, honey, aka the Nighthawk Network. Okay. We want you guys to go over there and encourage yourself, honey. Get into the music, get into the stories of the music, because this is what we're doing over here. Like I said, I'm going to bid you guys a farewell adieu, because as you can see, they're not tired necessarily. It's this computer screen, and then they got lazy, and it's the light that's trying to wear me out. Okay. So having said all that, I'm not going to sing out this time because we done got into a serious something here. Okay, and I want us to get into understanding that now is the time. If you never said that before, never believed it before, now is the time for really be about our business. Our business. Now that's something that if you really want to shake this up, and because Agent Orange is back up in there, then show him how much business you like to handle. Those of y'all with your little crafting stuff and carrying on, you do crocheting, you sell Tupperware, you sell Avon. And I know all of y'all got product, you Avon hustlers out there. Y'all got product that either you over-ordered or the folks never came to pick it up because they were I had one lady do that to me, and that fucked me up from selling Avon. Because, you're supposed to ask for a discount. No, I don't have to give it to you. You could ask all day, but I don't have to give you my discount. Okay? And this girl ordered all this shit. Well, I just don't want it to leave because I know I could get on back order, but I just order all this shit. Then when it come time to pay for it, honey, she didn't want to pay. So that's what ended my Avon career. Because, of course, I had to pay for it. And I was trying to get out of it and carrying on. So when I didn't send my payment in on time, I couldn't submit another order. And boom, there you have it. I'm thinking about getting back into it again because Avon is a product that's cute. It sells itself. A lot of folks know Skin So Soft and care. Y'all know the Feeling Fresh soap. Okay, y'all know the colognes and care. I'm not real vested in them like I used to be. Okay, no, Wild Country and Clint. Okay, when Billy D. Williams had his Undeniable, which I hope they bring back. That was some shit. But I make my own oils and carry on. So see, as a business, see, I started making. I know I make my own oil sensuality. Okay, the collection, which we just added 6 new oils this week. Okay, we've added 6 new oils. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But my point is that we are going to have to, if you want to outsmart this man, okay, you have to become business. That's the only language that he's going to listen to. Get your businesses in order. Okay, if you're going to start the daycare or whatever, or you want to take care of kids, get your business licenses in order so won't nobody come after you. You got to make sure you have the temperament to deal with kids because not everybody's so sue happy or whatever and feel as though, hell, your little baby ain't no angel. There's no hell you want to go and bash up against the walls and shit. Then you're going to tell me his mouth off for not watching him. No, he threw a tantrum. And you don't want me to beat his ass, so now what? Okay, I got yeah. Get the business in order. That's resonating with me. Wait a minute. That just hit me all up in here. Get the business in order. Because that's the only thing that he's going to listen to right now is business-minded people. People who look to, and because businesses do what? They create jobs and they promote the economy. So that there's going to be his claim to fame. But we have umpteen different million businesses started in college. No, here's what it is. Okay. These are some of the things that we're going to have to do in order to speak that language so that we can get a hold of something. Okay. So until then, honey, we can speculate all day, but right now we got to get through April 20th. Okay. And so having said all that, I'm going to let it go right now because, yeah, everything just dropped down. So listen, if you love me, tell a friend, tell a family member, honey, tell a Trump supporter to come on up in here to like, subscribe, and to share. And every time y'all see me going on, honey, that means that we got something to talk about, okay? So with that being said, honey, if you love me the way you love me, tell your friends and your good girlfriends, your good Judys, this, that, and the other, to come on in to like, subscribe, and to share. But if you hate me, you want to neck roll me, you want to click me and carry on, call me all kinds of names and this, that, and the other, I want you to tell all of your motherfucking enemies, okay, to like, subscribe, and to share, okay? Because one of the things that you will understand about everything that we're doing over here is that everything will move forward in any way, shape, style, form, and or fashion, okay? So having said all that, to my darlings, I'm going to let you guys go. And, y'all know how you've been sitting in the chair too long. You get that crook in your neck right there. Yeah, I'm right there, honey. And so, yeah. So on that note, I'm going to bid you guys good night. And we're going to go from there. When I come back, honey, be ready. Because when I come back, we're going to get into the show like we usually get into it and kiki and carrying on. Right now, this ain't a time for kikiing. This is a time for us to understand what we need to do to make sure that you and your household are going to be together. Ain't no time for slacking. Ain't no time to closing your eyes or whatever. You're going to have to understand what this means, child. Because, like I say, keep your fire extinguishers handy because we got a lot of fire that we're going to be putting out for the next 4 years. So in that case, honey, I'll talk to you guys later. Until then, toodles, Haley. Sing.